What is up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. Today we are diving into the Off-Grid Build Series episode 4, and we are going to pick up right where we left off from the last video. And if you guys haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you get notified when we post new episodes on this build and other videos like tool reviews and stuff like that. But without any more wasted time, let's dive into where we're at. All right, guys, so we finished laying all the beams, the 4x6 beams on here. They're all set, they're all lagged into the concrete, to the footers, as well as we put gusset plates. I'll show you right here. We have GRKs going through here. This bracket is lag bolted to the pier, and then we put gusset plates on either side of the seam, of all the seams on the 4x6s, in order just to have a little bit more structural integrity to hold them together. If they dry a little bit more and want to expand on us, those are going to hold those in place. Everything is set, level. I put my string lines back up, but unfortunately I didn't think about it, and the string lines are actually too low. I need to raise them up about 6 inches. So we'll raise those up tomorrow. We will get our square, make sure everything is still perfect, and then we'll start framing. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the build. So today we finally are going to start framing the floor joists for this build. We're framing this 2x10, and we're doing it 16 inches on center. Absolutely overkill, but in the end we are going to have a loft area, a second story here in the back end, so I want to make sure that the floor has no ability to flex or bow or whatever. So we're just doing 2x10s all the way down, and then we're going to put the 3/4 subfloor on top of that. So today what I'm going to be doing is just getting the perimeter done with my 2x10x16s, and then we're going to start framing the interior joist, I guess you could say. So without any waste of time, we're going to dive into it, and thanks for stopping by, guys. Working X away, X away. Pretty simple. Then when you bring back your floor joist, you know that you're always putting the board on the X. Some people will mark here, and then they'll make another mark on this side, and then you'll just fill the gap. But for me, it's easier to be one precise mark and then just an X. 24 instead of 16. It is really windy right now, so I'm fighting my tape being blown away from me. It's kind of annoying. And then this one out here should land. Look at that, bam. All right. Now you don't have to do this, but I tend to do it just because I like to have a full line on my entire beam, so that I know, you know, you can be on here, but it might be twisted this way, even though your board's on here. So the only reason I like to throw a line on here is to give me a full gauge. So when I set my board on here, I know if I'm lined up straight or if I'm crooked like this, because if I have this mark here and I'm lined up right, I can still be on that mark and be this way. This gives me less room for error. I wouldn't probably do this on normal framing, but since these are the floor joists, I really want to make sure we're sitting as precise as possible. And I'm in no rush. If I was doing production framing, obviously these would be unneeded and unnecessary steps, but that's not what we're doing here. We're taking our time and we're having a good time. Make sure I pull out this nail. I hate dull pencils, so my thumb hurts. I can't even push on my knife. Alright, guys, so what I'm doing right now is I'm checking for the crown of the board. The crown is basically every dimensional piece of lumber has a little bit of a bow in it, or a crown, which means it kind of arches in one direction or another. You want to make sure you put that arch or that crown of the board facing up, so when you lay your subfloor and everything else gets built on top of that floor, if anything, that crown will flatten out with the weight and the pressure, versus putting the crown in upside down, which would increase the sag or the squeak in your floor. Next thing I'm doing is I'm measuring to this string line. The string line I have around the perimeter of the build site is a perfect 20 by 40 string line. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring my 2x10 floor joist 1.5 inches inside of that string, so that way when I put my rim board around the perimeter of the subfloor or the floor joists, it'll be a perfect 20 by 40 dimension. Right now I'm setting, I think, 3 or 4 joists down the middle. These are purely set to tack my rim board on. The reason I do this is because it makes it really easy for me to just butt my floor joists up to that rim board and then kind of frame the rest of it in after that. So it kind of gives me an easy way to square it up without having to measure each individual joist perfectly, make sure it's set in the right place. I can just go ahead and tack up that rim board, and then we end up with a perfect perimeter. All right, guys, so I got in basically the perimeter. So I have 16 footers on the outside, so I put my boards on the inside at about 16 foot, and then this one was at like 10 or whatever it ended up being. But what I did was I attached the perimeter. So right now we have a perfect not a perfect, I'm not gonna lie, it's warped like crazy right here, but we almost have a perfect 40 by 20 space. Now I can start laying my boards that are going in the middle, my joists that are going in the middle. I'm going to attach them onto this side and keep them loose. So basically attach them to here, keep them loose, and then I'm going to tension this entire board, because if you look down this line, look how warped that is. I'm going to tension these boards together to pull it to a perfect 20 by 40 dimension, and then I will tack it and bracket it into these beams across there, which will guarantee a perfectly square foundation or perfectly square subfloor. All right, guys, so I just finished framing up all the floor. The only thing that I need to do still is I need to secure these middle rows to the beam. I am going to go through and put straps on these later, but as of right now, I'm just basically toe-nailing them into the beam so that I can hold them in place, so when I put the straps there, I don't have to measure, stuff like that. So I'm going to go through and toe-nail this middle part, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, so that is a wrap. We got all the floor joists framed up. We got the blocking down the center. The next step is getting the Advantech 3/4 inch plywood and subfloor attached to this, and then we're going to be framing the walls. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Be sure to subscribe, ring the bell so you know when we post new videos, and I will see you guys on the next one. Stay motivated, stay blessed, stay excited.